Ladies and gentlemen, life is a fragile thread woven by the choices we make. A single wrong step, one careless mistake, can change the course of your life forever. Some errors can be corrected. Others leave scars too deep to erase. Today, I will share with you 5 mistakes you should never make if you value your dreams, your relationships, and your dignity. Regret is a shadow that lingers long after the moment has passed. It is not the loud, dramatic choices that haunt us the most. It is the quiet ones, the things we failed to do, the words left unspoken, the risks we never took. Life has a way of moving forward relentlessly without waiting for us to realize the weight of our decisions. The biggest mistakes often go unnoticed until their consequences become irreversible. Imagine standing at the edge of your own life, looking back at all the choices you made. The truth is, most people do not regret what they tried and failed at. They regret what they avoided out of fear, hesitation, or comfort. A single misstep, ignored and repeated, can spiral into a lifetime of missed opportunities. Some mistakes appear insignificant at first, a habit of procrastination, neglecting a relationship, ignoring self-discipline, but over time they become chains that hold us back. People assume that life gives endless chances, but reality is far less forgiving. A careless word can ruin a bond forever. A single wrong decision can alter the trajectory of your life. And what is most dangerous, the mistakes that seem harmless in the moment, but silently chip away at your future. One of the most painful truths about regret is that it comes with clarity, but always too late. It is easy to see what should have been done differently when looking back, yet so difficult to recognize when standing in the present. The mistake is always clearest after the damage is done. This is why self-awareness is essential. Recognizing these mistakes before they control you is the key to avoiding a lifetime of looking back with sorrow. Wisdom is not about never making mistakes. It is about learning from them before they define you. The strongest people in this world are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who refuse to let failure be their final chapter. The wise take their missteps, analyze them, and make sure they are never repeated. The foolish ignore them, convinced that time will correct what only action can. Many people live under the illusion that they have time, that they can correct their mistakes later, but later is not promised. Every moment is a chance to make a different choice, and every choice carries weight. If you are waiting for the right time to change, to grow, to fix what is broken, understand this: the right time is always now. Life is too short to learn every lesson the hard way. Some mistakes take years to repair, and others never heal at all. The cost of regret is far higher than the cost of discipline, courage, or self-awareness. If you must err, err on the side of action. Do not let fear, laziness, or pride keep you from making the choices that will shape a life worth living. Discipline is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the quiet force behind success, the invisible hand that shapes talent into mastery, and the unseen effort that turns dreams into reality. Without discipline, even the most gifted individuals fail. With it, even the most ordinary person can achieve the extraordinary. Most people believe success is about motivation, but motivation is fleeting. It is unreliable, inconsistent, and disappears at the first sign of discomfort. Discipline, on the other hand, is unwavering. It does not ask how you feel. It demands action regardless of your mood, your circumstances, or your doubts. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. Look around you. How many people have talent but never use it? How many dream of success but never take the necessary steps? Talent, intelligence, and ambition mean nothing without discipline. It is the force that separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. It is waking up early when you want to sleep in, practicing when others are resting, and staying committed when the excitement fades. The greatest mistake people make is assuming they will have the energy, inspiration, or time later. They convince themselves that tomorrow will be the day they start working towards their goals. But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next year, and before they realize it, they have wasted a lifetime waiting for the right moment. The truth is, There is no right moment. There is only now. Discipline is not about grand gestures or dramatic changes overnight. It is about small, consistent actions that compound over time. Every great athlete, artist, entrepreneur, or leader did not wake up successful one day. They built habits. They repeated the same difficult tasks daily until they became effortless. Success is not built in a day, but it is built every day. Excuses are the greatest enemy of discipline. People say they don't have time, but they waste hours scrolling through distractions. They say they lack energy, yet they stay up late doing meaningless things. They say they want success, but their actions betray them. The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours, and how those hours are used determines who rises and who remains stagnant. There will always be obstacles, failure, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward despite them. It is the ability to rise after falling, to push through discomfort, and to stay committed even when progress is slow. Most people quit when results don't come fast enough, not realizing that the hardest part is always right before the breakthrough. Those who lack discipline will always be ruled by those who have it. If you do not master yourself, someone else will dictate your life for you. The choice is simple: let life happen to you or take control of it. The disciplined always choose the latter. Fear is the silent enemy that holds more people back than failure ever could. It disguises itself as caution, logic, and even self-preservation, but in reality, it is a thief. It steals opportunities before they can be taken, silences voices before they can be heard, and destroys dreams before they can be lived. The greatest regrets in life are not the mistakes we make, but the chances we were too afraid to take. Fear is powerful because it is persuasive. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you are not ready, that you might fail, that people will judge you. It convinces you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into the unknown. But the truth is, playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do. A life spent avoiding risk is a life filled with regret. Those who allow fear to control their decisions wake up one day and realize they have been standing still while the world moved forward without them. Fear does not announce itself loudly. It does not always come in the form of panic or terror. Often it is subtle. It is the hesitation before speaking up, the avoidance of difficult conversations, the endless postponement of a goal. It makes you second-guess yourself, makes you choose comfort over challenge, and convinces you that you have time when, in reality, every moment wasted is a moment lost forever. The most successful people in the world are not fearless. They feel the same fear as everyone else, but they refuse to let it dictate their actions. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. Every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who was afraid but did it anyway. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One lets fear stop them, and the other moves forward in spite of it. Most people live with imaginary limits, walls built by their own doubts and insecurities. They assume they are not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. But these are just stories they have told themselves, stories that can be rewritten. The only way to break these limits is to challenge them. Take the risk, speak up, step forward. Do the thing that scares you. Fear only controls those who let it. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be the possibility of failure. But the real question is, what is the cost of not trying? A failed attempt is still a lesson, still an experience, still progress. But avoiding the challenge altogether leaves you with nothing. No growth, no wisdom, no achievement. You will not remember the times you played it safe. You will remember the moments you dared to step beyond fear, the times you took the leap despite the uncertainty. The greatest risk in life is not failure. It is never trying at all. The people you surround yourself with shape your thoughts, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Many believe they are in full control of their lives, but the truth is, no one is immune to the influence of those around them. The conversations you engage in, the mindsets you absorb, and the standards you accept are all dictated by the company you keep. Your environment either fuels your growth or suffocates it. Look closely at the people in your life. Are they lifting you higher or holding you back? Are they pushing you toward your goals, or are they filling your mind with doubt, excuses, and negativity? You cannot expect to soar if you are constantly surrounded by those who refuse to leave the ground. The energy around you will either inspire you to move forward or convince you to stay comfortable in mediocrity. Many people make the mistake of keeping toxic or complacent individuals in their lives out of loyalty, history, or fear of being alone. But holding on to the wrong people is like carrying dead weight. It slows you down and drains your strength. Some friendships are built on shared growth, while others are built on shared stagnation. If your conversations are filled with complaints, gossip, and empty distractions, then understand that you are feeding your mind with the very things that will hold you back. Success is not just about intelligence, talent, or luck. It is also about proximity. Being around driven, ambitious, and disciplined people forces you to level up. It challenges your thinking, raises your standards, and keeps you accountable. When you see others around you striving for greatness, it becomes impossible to settle for less. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who constantly settle, you will begin to believe that settling is normal. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to let go of those who no longer align with your growth. This does not mean abandoning kindness or turning your back on others, but it does mean making a conscious choice about who has access to your energy. Time is the most valuable currency you have, and spending it with the wrong people is a debt you can never repay. Be intentional about your circle. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, those who inspire you, those who remind you that greatness is possible. Seek out individuals who think bigger, who push boundaries, who refuse to settle for less than their potential. The more time you spend with people who elevate you, the more natural it becomes to elevate yourself. Your environment is either working for you or against you. There is no neutrality. If you are serious about becoming the best version of yourself, then you must make the difficult but necessary decision to choose your company wisely. Because whether you realize it or not, the people in your life are shaping your future every single day. Anger and ego are two of the most destructive forces in life. They ruin relationships, cloud judgment, and create unnecessary battles. Many people believe that anger is a sign of strength, that standing their ground at all costs makes them powerful. But in reality, uncontrolled anger is a weakness, and an unchecked ego is a prison. Together they turn potential into regret, friendships into rivalry, and wisdom into foolishness. Anger is like fire. It can destroy everything in its path if not controlled. It makes people say things they do not mean, act in ways they later regret, and make decisions that cause irreversible damage. How many relationships have ended because of a single moment of rage? How many careers have been ruined because of one impulsive reaction? A few seconds of anger can undo years of effort. And the worst part is that once the damage is done, it cannot always be fixed. On the other hand is a silent destroyer. It whispers that you are always right, that apologizing is a sign of weakness, that accepting advice means admitting inferiority. The ego convinces people that they must always win, even at the cost of their relationships, their growth, and their happiness. It blinds people to their own flaws and makes them resistant to change. The most dangerous thing about ego is that it makes people believe they have nothing to learn. But the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. One of the greatest strengths a person can have is emotional intelligence, the ability to control their emotions rather than be controlled by them. The ability to remain calm under pressure, to walk away from pointless arguments, to apologize when necessary, and to choose peace over pride is not a sign of weakness, but of mastery. It takes strength to hold your tongue when provoked, to step back when your anger wants you to attack, and to let go when your ego demands control. The most successful individuals and the happiest people all share one thing in common. They do not let anger or ego dictate their actions. They understand that not every battle is worth fighting, that silence is sometimes more powerful than words, and that protecting their inner peace is more valuable than proving a point. They know that true confidence does not come from always being right, but from being open to growth and learning. The ability to walk away from conflict does not mean you are weak. It means you value your time and energy too much to waste them on negativity. The ability to swallow your pride and apologize does not mean you are lesser. It means you are wise enough to prioritize relationships over your ego. And the ability to remain calm in the face of provocation is not submission. It is self-mastery. You will not look back and remember the arguments you won or the people you proved wrong. You will remember the relationships you built, the peace you maintained, and the wisdom you gained by choosing self-control over self-destruction. There is a difference between making mistakes and refusing to learn from them. Life does not demand perfection, but it does expect growth. Every mistake carries a lesson, and those who refuse to learn are destined to repeat the same failures over and over again. Wisdom is not about avoiding errors entirely, that is impossible, but about recognizing when you have taken the wrong path and having the humility to correct it. Some people go through life blaming circumstances, luck, or others for their failures. They convince themselves that life is unfair, that the world is against them, that they were simply unlucky. But the truth is, the most successful people are not those who never failed. They are those who learned from failure and adjusted their course. They took responsibility, analyzed what went wrong, and made sure not to make the same mistake twice. Pride often gets in the way of learning. Many refuse to admit when they are wrong, choosing to defend their actions even when they clearly lead to negative outcomes. But refusing to acknowledge mistakes does not erase them. It only ensures they will happen again. Growth requires honesty, both with yourself and with others. It requires asking difficult questions. What could I have done differently? What lesson is this failure teaching me? How can I use this experience to become better? Those who ask these questions evolve. Those who ignore them remain trapped in cycles of frustration. The most painful mistakes are often the greatest teachers. Losing a good relationship because of ego teaches humility. Failing at an opportunity because of procrastination teaches discipline. Missing a chance because of fear teaches courage. Every mistake holds a lesson, but it is up to you whether you extract wisdom from it or let it become another regret. Time is too valuable to keep making the same errors. If you touch fire once and get burned, you learn not to touch it again. But in life, many people continue to make the same harmful choices, staying in toxic relationships, avoiding responsibility, repeating bad habits. Without realizing, they are reliving their own past mistakes. They do not stop to reflect, to analyze, to change. Instead, they convince themselves that this time will be different, even when they are making the same choices that led to failure before. The smartest people are not those who never make mistakes, but those who learn from the mistakes of others. If someone has already walked a path and found it dangerous, why repeat their errors? History, mentors, books, and even casual observations offer lessons every day. The question is whether you are paying attention. A life spent repeating the same mistakes is a life wasted. The greatest gift you can give yourself is self-awareness, the ability to recognize your errors, learn from them, and never make them again. Growth is not about avoiding failure, but about refusing to stay the same. The person who learns from every mistake will always rise above the one who refuses to acknowledge them. Life is a series of choices, and every choice shapes the person you become. Some mistakes may seem small in the moment, but over time, they can lead to a lifetime of regret. The greatest tragedy is not failure. It is realizing too late that you could have done better, been better, lived better. Discipline will push you forward when motivation fades. Fear will try to hold you back, but courage is the only way through. The people you surround yourself with will either elevate or destroy you, and the wrong company will keep you stuck in mediocrity. Anger and ego may feel like strength, but in reality, they only weaken you, clouding your judgment and robbing you of wisdom. And above all, refusing to learn from mistakes ensures that you will keep repeating them, trapping yourself in an endless cycle of frustration and missed opportunities. You do not have unlimited time. Every moment wasted, every opportunity ignored, every lesson left unlearned is a piece of your future lost forever. The strongest, wisest, and most successful people are not perfect. They simply refuse to let these 5 mistakes control their lives. You have a choice. You can let these mistakes define you, or you can rise above them. You can stay where you are, or you can take control of your life, your actions, and your destiny. The path to success is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It belongs to those who are willing to learn, adapt, and grow. Do not look back and wish you had done things differently. Make the choice today to live with purpose, to rise above fear, to master discipline, to choose your circle wisely, to control your emotions, and to learn from every experience, because the greatest mistake of all is not failing, it is failing to change. Every mistake you avoid brings you closer to the life you deserve. But remember this: life does not forgive those who do not learn. You have 2 choices. Repeat these mistakes or rise above them. The path is yours to choose. Thank you.